Right, today we've got my bike with the stock exhaust, and then Chris has brought his bike along and he's got a stock muffler or end can, but he has took the internals out, so you see there's no baffles in that one compared to mine's just bog stock. So we've been out for a blast. You'll hear the sounds of the exhaust shortly, and then we also have an unboxing of the Mivv exhaust. So inside the Mivv you get a titanium exhaust with a carbon end cap. That also has a baffle in, but the baffle is in with a pop rivet, so we'll need to take you have to drill that pop rivet out if you wanted to take the baffle out, as you can see there. So this is the stock exhaust. And this is Chris's exhaust with the baffles out. That's the stock exhaust with both baffles in, top and bottom. And that's a stock end can with the baffles removed. So this is the stock exhaust. And this is baffles removed. So this is the unboxing of the Mivv exhaust. So you get a titanium end can with a carbon fibre cap, carbon fibre heat shield, and then just the nuts and bolts required and some information that I'm not even going to read. A few fingerprints on it, we'll get those off shortly. You can tell the main difference between this model and then the previous one is the size of the inlet there, mainly because of the size of the catalytic converter on the newer model, the 21 to 24 model. So to take this stock can off, you just need to undo that one and undo the clamp. You can take your heat shield off as well, but I don't think you need to, so we're going to try without. So we need a T45 for the big one at the top and a T30 for the clamp at the bottom. So we'll get that off now. Right. Just going to loosen this clamp off first. Just take all the pressure off that. So see there's quite a long thread on that. Might as well take it all the way out and then it will open up easier. This is where we find we should have took the shield off to be able to get this clamp off easier. No. That'll be alright, I'll just hang that there for the time being. Take this top one off and then that whole can should come off. So the nut on the back of this is actually tack welded on, so you don't need a spanner on the back. You can just take this nut out, take the bolt out, should I say, like so. Again, it's quite close to that shield, so as Chris said, we could have took that shield off, but I never did because I'm lazy. So that's the clamp off at the bottom and the bolt off the top, so this should just slide off now. There's a small gasket. So as you can see, that's sliding all the way off the cap there. And that's it off. Well, that's it off. You can see the cat in there. Now we have to start it up with no can on, obviously, as a formality, so we'll get that done and then you can hear what it's like with no silencer at all. That is loud. That is very loud. Right, that's why you need a silencer on. So we'll go ahead now. We'll make up this Mivv. There's a few fittings and things to attach onto there to get it all fitted on, and we need to take this ring gasket off here and fit that onto the other one, and then we will put it on the bike. Quick update, because this can was been already off in the past, the previous owner had a different can on and then put the original back on. It doesn't have the sealing ring gasket on, so I'll order one of those up and I'll just fit this anyway. You saw how easy it was to change them, it's just 2 bolts. So we'll get this made up, we'll put this on without the ring gasket, see how it goes and get a new one ordered. Right, before we put it on, we thought we'd put it on the scales, and that is coming in at 2.768 kilograms, so pretty much 2.8 kilograms. So the Mivv comes with this bracket which fits on there, goes around the back. So the front one is for the heat shield and the back ones go on. So you need an Allen key for this. So you just need a 5mm Allen key to take those 2 out to be able to fit on the bracket. So you get these spring captive nuts that need to go on here. So we just loosen those bolts off so we don't scratch the can, and then they just pop on there like that so that you can screw your heat shield down afterwards. Right, so that's the spring captive nuts attached to the exhaust now, which we'll come back to later. As you can see, it is very close. In fact, it's even touching the exhaust there, so you might get some scratching there on the titanium, but it's going to be behind the heat shield. We'll see how we go. They're not tightened up yet and that bolt's not in, so that's the next thing to do, is that bolt there on the clamp. So the clamp's down there, we'll put the clamp on, we'll bolt that up tight, and then we'll just make sure that those nuts are aligned for the heat shield to go on, and then give it all a polish up. So when putting the new bolt in that's supplied, it's a 6mm Allen key, and this one just has a nut on the back, so it's not welded on, so you do need a 13mm spanner on the back to tighten that up. So we'll just nip that in place there and then tighten this one up fully. Just nip that up. You can probably over tighten this quite easily and just keep forcing it on until all those it strips the threads, but won't go too daft. I'm not using the end of the, just going by feel. Bear in mind it doesn't have that gasket ringing anyway, so it's never going to be perfect. That's not looking too bad. We need to tighten these ones down on the top as well, which is 5. Maybe I've done these ones before doing the clamp, but it doesn't make too much difference. Again, not too tight because you could probably just, I'll keep my eye on them because you could just keep going until those the serrated washers go all the way flat, but I don't think that's a good idea. As long as you've got a bite on them, that should be alright there. That's not going anywhere. Right, I've got that in there and that's just nipped up with a small Allen key, and then these ones aren't lined up now because you can push the spring clip further on. It doesn't line up at all, to be honest. Right, saying that, there is a bit of flex in there. If you look from the front, you can just see how that isn't quite lining up, but there is a bit of flex in this. I'll maybe undo that one slightly. Yeah, that'll get it. Now we've loosened that one off so that we can get these ones lined up a bit better. And that needs to go that way slightly. It's not playing. Right, that's got it. Only by a thread or two though. And that one's also miles out. Now you probably could just tighten these until they just smashed your carbon fibre, which wouldn't be the finest hour. I have heard about these rattling, so it wants to be tight enough to stop it rattling, I suppose, but I might take them out one day and put Loctite on them as well, because they don't have any spring washers on them or Nylox or anything like that, so they could in theory come vibrate loose. So see how we get on. Right, I'm not doing any more. Should just check. So just an observation with this carbon cover. See how there's a gap around it, but at the bottom there it does actually touch. It's strange. I wouldn't say it was perfect fitment, but it's on. It's looking good. Time for a sound test. So that's still got the baffle in at the moment. As you can see, there's like a pop rivet there, so we'd have to drill that pop rivet out through the hole at the bottom and then be able to slip that whole baffle out. But for now I'll run it with a baffle in. It's bound to be slightly louder than standard, nowhere near as loud as Chris's, but we'll see how it sounds. Vibrating. with that bit there. So we might need to fit something underneath there. I'll do something with this because just revving it there you could hear that. So someone did warn me about that on one of the forums. So see if you can hear it whilst we're riding, and if it's too annoying, sort something with it. So we've had a ride out. You can't actually hear that vibrating on there. I don't like it. I don't like the way it fits, but it looks awesome from the side. It sounds good. And again, you can't hear it whilst you're going. It's just starting to get warmed up. You can just see a bit of discoloration there, where it's just changing colour, where the cat's heating it up. See how the titanium looks after a few hundred miles or when it's been really hot. Right, we're going to do some ride-bys like we did with the other exhausts.